Moving on to the next question. What's your advice to someone who's committed to learning how to play jazz?
Don't do it.
I was going to say, unless you are fortunate to make money, you have to do it for the love of it. I mean, I won't use examples right now, but we do gigs with our band that the pay is very minimal, very minimal. But we love, at least. Well, the guys with us have been with us how many years now? 5, 6 years, these guys. So they're putting up with me, and they must dig the charts. And we're not making a lot of money, but
you just love it.
Well, I hope we do.
Yeah, in order to teach.
Because teacher salaries, they're getting better, but they're never. Sometimes when, before I had my little heart, I had a stent put in. I used to drink scotch, and a couple of times when I got feeling no pain, my wife had to put up with this. I'd start telling stories about what in my classes. And the one thing, the kids would come to class, and they say, Mr. Bridge, do you have a pencil? I said, hey, I'm not supposed to furnish pens. You're supposed to come to class. These kids. So I was out on the playground during a break one time, and I saw this little pencil about this. I said, that's it. So what I did, I grabbed all the pencils I could find, and when a kid would say, Mr. Bridge, you have a pencil? Sure. And I hide them, didn't bring any with me, in my hand like this. I'd say, here. And they'd pick it, and the pencil would be this long. And I said, you don't like my pencils? Bring your own. And it worked. Instead of chewing them out, say, you dumb, so-and-so, I just did that.
But then didn't they start cutting them down?
And even some days the kids would come to class with pencils they had taken to the shop and cut down. Here, Mr. Bridge, here's some more pencils for you. So it worked, I tried to make my classes enjoyable.
Do the up on the right, down on the left. That would be really good.
There's one student who wasn't too smart, but he loved taking my class. So one day I'm standing, I have to show this though. I have to get up and show this. Sorry, Paul.
Oh, it's all right.
He said, Mr. Bridge, when I write the notes, the stems, I can never remember. Do they go up or down? And I said, Jose or something, I can't remember. I'd say, up on the right, down on the left. Up on the right, down on the left. And I started dancing around the class, and the kids said, yeah, Mr. Bridge, yeah! It was funny, you had to be there. And the kids would say, man, you gotta take Mr. Bridge's class. He's a kick. I tried to make it enjoyable. Well, now this could go on. This could go on. Many stories.
How important is it for kids to listen to the music that they're trying to learn?
Well, you gotta listen. In fact, I'll just use myself as an example. I listen to Kubo every day as much as we can, and I'll get an ideas for some charts of mine. Like, I can't remember a chart I was working on. All of a sudden I heard a figure, and I went to the piano, and it gave me a great idea. And especially on Latin, because that's not my strong point, so I like to get ideas. Because when I used to start writing salsa arrangements, Paul would get a kick out of this, all I could think of was swing figures. Boo, ra, ba, doo, ba, da. Well, that doesn't go in. It has to boom, cha, gong, gong, ka-choo. I had a hell of a, pardon the expression, a hell of a time getting to play, to write jazz, to use it.
You mean, yeah. Well,
to write those kind of figures. They're so different from swing.
Yeah, well, sometimes what I do with my kids is I'll take a chart with all those figures, and like, ba-da, bo-da, beep, ba-da, bop, bop,
Yeah.
and And I'll say, now, what would that sound like if you go boogie googie googie
Yeah, see,
googie ba da 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 da
It's all the
da
different
bop
kind-
bop,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But it's sort of like the same. You know, you can
Well,
take the
it's
same
not-
thing, but you have to straighten it out and
You have to put in different inflections. You know? Yeah.
different articulation.
Articulation.
So I was cutting your head off.
At some point, Denver citywide jazz bands started focusing more on small groups and improv. Did that happen out of necessity, or did it just kind of happen?
It happened out of necessity for the musicians. I wanted to make music a career. Because I went to Dick Cohen one day, and Dick was excellent. Big band alto player and jazz player. And I said, you know, Dick, how many gigs are there going to be when these kids get out of high school? How many gigs? Because in high school it was all big bands. And they said, how many gigs are they going to get with a big band? He said, you're right, Neil. I said, why don't we start a jazz combo class where the kids learn how to fake and how to play with small combos, because that's where most of the gigs are going to be. For the rhythm players, a trio, horn player, a quartet, maybe a quintet, at the most. So I started the Citywide Jazz High School Jazz Combo, where I went to all the high schools and auditioned the kids, and the combo was anywhere from 7, 8, maybe 9 with the vocalist. But I taught them how to make up an introduction. Boy, you don't think that was something. I told the kids in their concert, everybody had to take one tune, count off, introduction, and end it, know how to end it. So I showed them how to do intros, and I showed them the 2 basic endings, especially in a fake gig, that everybody needs to know. First, you better know the A train ending. And I had them learn that in all the popular keys. Bo da do ba ba do da. That gets you out of fake. You know, if you're just sitting in and you don't have any charts. And the other one is the basic one. Blop, 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 bow. You better learn those 2. And I used to cue them, and I say, when you're with a combo for A train, you just say A. For the basic, you say B. And that was it.
Solves everything.
Yeah, it's ending. You better know those 2 endings in the common keys.
Cool, cool.
And then how to set a tempo. Now that messed them up at first. I remember this girl, she said, Neil, Mr. Bridgepark, how do you count? I said, the way I do it, say we did Billy's Bounce, that was our opening number. I say, when I count off a tempo for a tune, Night Tunisia, or we did a chart on Montega, I go to a, I sing 4 measures to myself. Or 1, 2, 1, 2. I had them sing a part of the tune, at least 4 measures. Then, don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't know if everybody else thinks of it that way, but that's the way I do it.
Just an easier way to get the feeling.
Yeah, get the feeling.
Just a personal question of mine, who were your inspirations as a kid and when you were growing up learning how to play jazz or any other kind of?
Well, in my small town in Pennsylvania, we didn't have any jazz. I just listened, and I went to school, that was after the service. My first real jazz experience was in the Air Force. I was in this band, and there was this alto player who played like Bird, and he was a great alto player. And we had a rehearsal combo every afternoon whenever there wasn't anything else to do. And we had to learn a new tune every day. We'd get on a gig. If it was a commercial gig, we couldn't play more than one. We had to learn tunes. We'd never play more than 1 chorus of a tune. And then we go to the next tune, and then the next tune, made a medley out of it. So we start learning tunes, all the things you are, and then go right into another tune. Green Dolphin Street, or whatever it was. And then we worked on improvisation, but the big thing that helped me was when I got out of the Air Force. And one of the best things about serving in the Air Force, I got 4 years of college free. and a friend of mine, great sax player, lived in Boston. He said, go to the New England Conservatory. I never could have afforded that. So I got 4 years there, and I worked with this piano player named George Brambilla. He was the dean of the Boston University, last I heard. He wasn't a jazz pianist, but he knew harmony. I took lessons from him. And then the rest of it, I just listened and picked up from other players, ideas and, theory books.
Cool.
Do you have any comments about the music of today?
No, I don't want to get into that.
I think you should.
I don't want to get in. I'll get all up.
That's-
My wife says, okay, baby, that's enough. I listen to Lady Gaga, and I listen to all this BS, and I say, my God.
I think he thinks it's so important what you're doing,
Oh,
that young
it's
people
terrible.
doing jazz.
Yeah, I agree.
It's terrible.
Try to get some
Well,
real-
now, I don't know if I can say this, but you know what tune that's up for in a Grammy Award?
I can't think of any right now.
F.U.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that
you
one.
believe that? That's what this country, music in this country is coming to? I mean, this is ridiculous. Jeez.
Most of it being fake, anyways nowadays.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why it's so great for, and I'd say that even if he wasn't here, for Paul, what he's doing, seeing the jazz scene, getting good music, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll just have to use our example, booking the band. If, you just hopefully that for every action there's supposed to be an equal reaction. We hopefully someday all this, I hate to use the word music, but what's being presented today, there'll be a reaction where we will go back
To the good stuff.
to the good stuff, the music that makes sense. And that, well, I'll use another example. We played a gig not too long ago, and I hear very few bands play ballads. It doesn't seem to be the thing to be nice and romantic. Everything seems to be
Just
computer, and everything's so fast. I mean, in life. I mean, I hear they'll advertise the latest Apple thing. You can get this thing in 5/10 of a second. My God, That, I mean, where is? I think we're becoming. In fact, well, don't get me on my soapbox. I hate to call it the human race anymore. We're not very. Maybe I'm getting too far out.
we're so tied up in just sitting
Yeah,
there
we're
with
so
our
tied
little
up in the-
electronic devices.
So
and everything,
much.
yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It has its value, but where is the humanistic? Like we did a arrangement of my wife singing "The Nearness of You," a beautiful ballad, and we do it as a nice bolero. It's not the pale chico day, and we're going. Everybody's going, and I said to my wife, "Let's get a motel room." The people cracked up. It was that kind,
There you
of, I mean, I don't know if Paul is, but you don't hear many, do you? Many romantic ballads?
They kind of steer away from those these days, man.
Yeah,
Everybody wants stuff
why?
upbeat, and they want to
Why?
They're afraid to show themselves.
They're afraid to be sensitive.
Yeah.
Because sensitivity isn't cool right now.
Well, anyway, I don't want to get up on the soapbox. I'll get.
Neil Bridge, there you have it. I don't know what else to say.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you. Hope
All
to
right.
see you at the Big Band Boogie Bash.
Indeed.